you have I mean, I started to see more and more student athletes, getting on LinkedIn and starting putting themselves out there well ahead of time when they're popular or when they're in their prime of being a collegiate athlete. Have you seen the same?
Oh, yeah. I mean, right now, this for women athletes as a whole, your college career is the point of your highest earning potential. Even if you do go play in some of the professional leagues, you have, the highest likelihood of making the most money, especially from endorsements during your college, not necessarily when you're professional, because you're not competing with as many markets. If you go play pro for the LA Sparks, now you're competing with every single pro team in LA and every single influencer in LA. But at Syracuse people love Syracuse student athletes. So me going to College Town Bagels, or later tonight I'm going to Apex and bringing some people, like, this is where I have the most value in terms of working with brands. So going to LinkedIn, where the brand managers live and where they're looking for advice and ideas, is where to go. That's kind of how I was able to start the second piece of my career, saying, hey, I have all this experience, and posting it onto LinkedIn, because apparently that's where the brand managers get their ideas. So if I can go there first, that's you reach many more people than individual pitches to their email.
You mentioned the female athlete, and it's been amazing. The Lily Dunns, the Angel Reeses, the Caitlin Clarks, the meteoric rise, it seems, to the National Women's Soccer League.
Yeah.
I mean, you start seeing, we talked earlier too about, the Professional Volleyball Federation, PVF and Love. There seems to be an explosion of women's athletics on the national stage, and kind of in the forefront of, I don't want to say influencer, because they're just being athletes, but you start to see more and more of that you didn't see even 5-6 years ago. Why is that?
Investment. It's money. It's money because, and this is where I'm so excited for all the athletes and, people who are here now. But I think about, I don't even know, maybe 10 years ago or so, when I was in middle school, like early middle school, I watched every single UConn basketball game when I was in middle school and high school, right? Like, I knew all the players. I didn't know, I wasn't making edits of her like people are of Paige Beckers, but I knew Skylar Diggins, everything I could find about Skylar Diggins or Brittany Griner or all these different people, I knew. So the interest and the excitement about women's sports and college sports, I don't think that that's necessarily changed. These people have already been here. What we're doing is investing in the sport and creating more opportunities for that, those fans and that interest to be seen. And now that's just causing even more investment and even more things, right? Like, even as an athlete, it wasn't really until I realized that there's people that are interested in what I do that I started posting more. It wasn't until people literally said, no, Sydney, we want to see what you're doing. Please post more, that I decided, okay, let me create like an Instagram strategy and start trying to do this. So I think that's the huge thing. It's like, whoever the first person was that finally listened and was like, okay, we're going to invest in this ad, we're going to invest in whatever. That's really what the tipping point was. I don't think it's really anything about, the girls are phenomenal, but we could have had big stars 10 years
a long time ago.
Right? Yeah.